there, Global Church family. Welcome to your ongoing conversation about international missions at Fellowship Bible Church, where you get a front row seat to hear what God is doing continually to establish his church around the world. My name is Mark Francis. I'm your host for today, and I have the Crace family here with us. I have Stephen, Morgan, and Owen over here in the end seat. He is waving to the crowd for all you guys watching and listening. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Good. Yeah.
You're good too. I love it. Well, I'm going to ask some questions here, if you guys are cool with that, because I want to hear why you're all wearing the same t-shirt. Yeah? Tell us real quick. So you are wearing the Family Camp 2026 t-shirts. And before we dive into that week, because we'll give some details about that, I want to get to know you guys. So this is easy. Just tell us stories about yourself. So give us a quick little history of just what brought you guys to Winchester and Fellowship Bible Church.
So we've been at FBC going on about 3 years. We've been in the Winchester area for about 3 years. Started with American Woodmark about 3 years ago, and now I'm with Master Brand in Winchester. So
New company has taken over, right?
Yeah,
a little bit of business tips there.
Yeah. So when we moved here, we started to church hop, and FBC was the first church we went to.
Cool.
And we didn't go anywhere else. It just felt right. We knew we were supposed to be here. It's been almost 3 years that we've been at this church now.
And Owen, what do you like about church here?
Oh, that we only went to one church that we didn't know about. We didn't like it until we went to Fellowship Bible Church.
Yeah.
And then this was our favorite church, so we stayed here.
That's awesome. So what do you like about it? Do you like
that I have friends here.
your friends here? That's awesome. And how old are you?
5.5.
Yes. And you have summer off right now, right? No school, right?
Yeah, one of my friends, his name is Elijah, and one of my friends is Elijah, and at the end of family camp, his birthday is there, and he turns 7.
That's awesome. You have all kinds of stories, and I want to hear them. Do me a favor. So tell us real quick, what do you remember about family camp? I'm going to go to you, Owen, first, because I'm going to get the details from your parents in a bit, but I want to hear from you first and foremost. What do you remember about going to family camp?
That we ride horses, and I had glow stick night, and we had shadow puppet night and movie night.
That's a lot. Shadow puppets, movies, glow sticks. Wow. That sounds like a fun time. And horses, of course. Who can forget the horses? Did you ride a horse all by yourself?
I ride a pony.
Yeah?
The pony's name was Lightning, and I only ride a pony, and I only ride a horse, and the horse's name was Jack.
Cool. Did you make any new friends there? You said you met somebody named Elijah who turned 7. Were there people there that...
I didn't met him.
Oh, were there people there that you didn't know before? Any people that like you met for the very first time?
Oh, one of them was Elijah's friend, and then his name was Finn. And every day I said, "Finn, huggy," and I hug him.
Nice. That's so nice.
And then and every time I did that, and he said, "Owen, you always want hugs."
One more question for you, then I'm going to ask your parents a couple questions too, okay? So what was your favorite part? I mean, you listed off tons of things. Like, what was your favorite part of family camp?
I already told you it.
You like them all. You like it all. Yeah. So the horses, the glow sticks,
not the horses, just the rest of them.
Okay, good. Good to know. Well, I'm so glad that you were able to go with your parents to family camp, because it really has a big meaning that you guys are doing this all together as a family to go support other churches at family camp. And so just a quick recap of what family camp is. Give us in your own words, Morgan, like what you heard about family camp before you guys decided to go.
Yeah. Well, when we first started coming to the church, we heard about it. We saw the pictures up on the TV about it. And we heard about it. Our community group leaders go to family camp. We heard a lot about the Native Americans out there in North Dakota, South Dakota. how they just kind of put on like a VBS, essentially, a church camp for the Native Americans out there. And that Fellowship Bible Church takes everything out there and goes and puts it on for them, because they have a lot of false interpretations of who God is.
Yeah.
And so FBC goes out there. Somebody met Chris Little and they partnered up, and they go out there and take it out there. But we also heard the other side where the kids get to go to camp, like get to have he gets to have his own camp experience too. And so we were like, maybe we should look into this thing.
A little double purpose there of going to serve and volunteer, but also Owen gets a chance to hear more about who God is.
Yes.
You have a whisper over there. Give us your whisper.
What
do you want to say?
That he teach people, Native Americans who believed in other gods, that to obey our God.
That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, when people have perspectives of a variety of gods, and you have to hone them in on what does Scripture say about the one true God. That's amazing that you learned that too. So when you had that perspective and that perception of, okay, let's go serve, let's go volunteer as a family, then what happened? Like when you made that jump, you're like, okay, yep, I'm going to do this. Walk us through the experience of what you observed being at family camp. Was this your first trip that you were able to go, or have you guys been before? This is your second trip. Okay. So walk me through that first experience when you guys went. Like, how did it open your eyes to the world out there with the Native American crowd?
Yeah, so we view it as just like any other global missions opportunity but this is in our own backyard where we can drive to it and it's more accessible.
Yeah.
So we drove to it, we showed up, and it's awesome out there. The landscape, it's different than what we have here. And it's great because once we get there, as FBC, we're the serving body. We're the ones doing the backstory. We're the ones doing all the behind the scenes, but we're also the ones that are primarily teaching the lessons throughout the day and doing a lot of the crafts with the kids. And so it's a lot of that. But so it's serving, putting on VBS type camp, but it's like VBS, but you don't leave.
Yep.
So they're there.
You're there. You don't leave. It's constantly on call. It's not just a 4-hour experience and then go home and relax. You guys are always on call. There have been several episodes over the years about the family camp, like history. So I would encourage anybody who's watching and listening now to even go back through the podcast episodes and find and glean these other global church or just the family camp episodes. And I'm always fascinated to hear your personal stories of kind of what you got out of going. So that first experience, what did God show you about how the Native American churches, like what did you see God teach them? And then what did God teach you? And so we're going to go back a year to where you first went, and then we'll talk about this past year. How about that? So give us that first impressions for what God taught you guys.
I mean, the biggest thing is just kind of teaching who God is and what grace means and how it's not just a legalistic God where you have to, one of the biggest misconceptions is that you have to change who you are before you're accepted into Christianity. And, quite frankly, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of showing love and the acceptingness of God and how it's his kindness that brought people to salvation and not the structure of rules.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about you, Morgan?
I got to be the kids, one of the teachers for the lower elementary. So I was with them every day. And I remember the first year, we do all this kind of like meeting and training throughout the year. FBC does before we go. So we know what all of our lessons are and materials we need to take. And you just keep talking about the Native Americans this, the Native Americans that. And you go there and you see it for the first time and you're like, oh, they're just like us.
Yeah, right.
They're just like us. They're just born out here, way out in the Dakotas. And once you see, they're just like, and I'm also a teacher. So they're just like any other class that I was teaching throughout the school year, and So you learn how to form your friendships with them. You learn what they like and what they don't like, how, if they're going to, listen while you tell the story. And I was pleasantly surprised that they really like to sit down in front of us and just listen. We brought the Jesus Storybook Bible, and they just liked, that was their favorite part of the whole lesson. The morning lessons were like an hour and a half, probably 2 hours. But the part where we opened the book and show them the pictures of Jesus or whatever story we were doing that day, they really honed in on that and really loved that, and getting to hear them talk about Jesus throughout the week. That was really good for the first year. And just we gave them a Bible on the last day, full day of camp on Thursday. We gave them a Jesus Storybook Bible, each of them. And they were just so appreciative. And that's something that Owen just like automatically had at our house, right?
Yep.
But they were so appreciative. And actually this second year going back, the campers that came back, they all mentioned those Bibles.
Oh, cool.
So we know that, this past year, they've been opening them.
That's the beauty of repeating the visits, so where it's not just Scott McManigal and Jim Poole making the trips, but it's the similar families who are from FBC going out there to go a second time and a third time and a fourth time. So share the perspectives then of what this past experience was. Just give a quick recap of when did you guys go? When was the camp? Because it was just a few weeks ago. But share what those dates are. And Stephen, actually bring your microphone up a little closer to you too. That way we can hear you. Sometimes these microphones sag a bit, and so we got to make sure that they get up nice and close to your mouth, and so we can hear you too. So give us the dates. When were you guys out there?
For this year, it started on Sunday, June 7th, and ran till Friday, June 12th. Okay.
And you guys drove?
We drove. And so it's a 2, 3, 4 day journey to get there, depending on, how your kids are doing the car. And it's a haul. So the first year we went, it was a round trip. I think 16 days, 4,000 miles. This year we did a little faster. And so it's about 3,000 miles this year. Whew. So,
Owen, what'd you do in the car rides? Did you nap? Did you eat food? Did you?
I napped a lot.
Yeah.
I played with my Mario blocks.
Okay, of course. You got to have some games to play with too along the way. Yeah.
They weren't games; they were just blocks.
Just blocks. Well, that's something fun to do. Well, once you drive out there, then just give a quick recap of the experience, because I hear there's tents, I hear there's cabins, I hear there's kind of mess hall food, and people are cooking, and you're waking up early and staying up late. Just what's the vibe at camp like?
Very exciting. We get there. Most of FBC gets there on like Saturday afternoon. Some people come on Sunday morning. Just to set up, when you come into the camp, well, first of all, when you just arrive in North Dakota, in Medora, North Dakota, it is just beautiful. It is it's like a different country out there. Mm-hmm. It is the West. And we had been out West before, but we had never seen exactly where Medora, North Dakota is. We had never seen land like that, like the Badlands.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Buttes are beautiful.
Yeah. And so you drive up on this long road to get to camp. And before you see anything else at camp, you see just these beautiful trees in a field. And that is where all of us FBCers set up Tent City, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why some of us arrive on like the Saturday afternoon. So we set everything up.
Yeah.
We set up camp. Last year, there was probably like 20-ish tents. And this year, it just has grown so much. Some of the actual Native Americans wanted to come and tent with us this year. So that was really fun. And so we all set up Tent City, and then we have the bathhouses over here. You got the big dining hall over here. The retreat center is very close to Tent City. So we always have like kind of a building really close to us. The first year we just walked around and toured it when we first got there. It's just beautiful out there. And you keep walking way across the camp, and you go through this pathway through these like trees and bushes. And then it's just like it's like a painting of these mountains and buttes. And they have 3 crosses on this lower hill. And if you want to hike up, you see this beautiful, huge red cross at the very top of it. And that's where we do our campfires on the nights that it's not raining, and we can do big campfires out there. And it's a beautiful camp just being out there. And we really like where the camp is. And then on Sunday, all the Native American churches start to arrive.
So give me a ballpark range of how many FBC people were there, do you think? And then how many of the Native American church crowd were there?
Yeah, so there's about 50, 51 this year. So just kind of run some numbers. There were 51 people from FBC. There were 44 of us in Tent City from FBC. And again, typically it's like 1 to 2 per tent. So that's a lot of tents. And as Morgan said, this is the first year that we're aware of that people realized how much fun we were having in Tent City. And they literally, you would go to bed and you would wake up and there would be a tent out front of your door that wasn't there when you went to bed.
Yeah.
And
just coming in and just crashing the party, huh?
Yeah. So you didn't know if you were going to get a flock of flamingos or if you were going to get neighbors, or there are coyotes that we heard, whether they were real or not. And so we did a lot of cool things in Tent City, including this year. The Tent City had its first movie night and shadow puppets, and we even had you could see Venus and Jupiter in the sky out there in North Dakota. So
that's awesome.
There's a lot less air pollution, and it's quite awesome.
Yeah, but
it's really cool. So she mentioned the Red Cross that's like up above, and it's about a half hour hike up and a half hour hike down. It's really cool to just have the cross overlooking you the entire time you're So it's a great camp. It's a great we've been 2 years now, and it's an awesome experience. But
so Owen, do you remember what movie you guys watched?
Oh, I'm not going to tell that. I'm just going to tell that Tallulah.
Yeah.
He saw a satellite.
Oh, really? Saw a satellite.
The movie night was Charlie Brown's, and it was his first summer.
Cool. Yeah. That's fun. You mentioned Tallulah. That's Tallulah Delgado. So Juan and Tirsa Delgado and their 2 girls were out there as well. That's just a cool partnership to be able to have them spend their time and resources to come out to support family camp as well. What was your interactions with them? I mean, they're just fitting in just like regular FBCers, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They knew. We met them last year, 1 year ago, when our first time at family camp, and we had heard their name a lot. So I was like, I'm so glad we finally get to see their faces.
Yeah.
And it helps that they have 2 kids around the same age as Owen. And they play all the time. Sadie, Tallulah, and Owen, they're running around. One of my favorite things about our Tent City, where all of us FBCers are, is at night they'll all get glow sticks and run around together, and you just hear all their laughter, and it's just amazing. But we've grown closer to the Delgados, and we really enjoy just worshiping with them, doing the Lord's work with them. We learn a lot from Tirsa and Juan, a lot.
It is cool to see again how God unifies people together. Like you normally wouldn't have a family from Ecuador with families from Virginia, with families from North Dakota or South Dakota hanging out, except for the fact that it's because of Christ and that commonality that we have with being in that family together.
Yeah.
And it's just obviously a coincidence. It's called family camp, but we're all a spiritual family, that we're doing that just to have fun, but also to grow together. I'm going to push pause here on the family camp concept because we didn't hear enough about you guys. So I heard that you moved into town 3 years ago and you found FBC right away. Back the story up a bit. So how did you guys meet and how did you guys come to know the Lord also? Give me kind of your story. Yeah.
First.
Good start.
Okay. Well, I grew up, I would have told you, I grew up in Ohio, and I would have told you that I was a Christian my whole life. Our parents always made us go to church. We were always going. Baptized as a baby, went through confirmation, then grew up, and I went to school to be a teacher, and I joined Teach for America, and they sent me to North Carolina because they send you where they need teachers. And so I went to Eastern North Carolina and did that, and we met each other through in the Outer Banks.
Okay.
His parents have a house in the Outer Banks, and then he lived in Chesapeake, Virginia, which was really close to my North Carolina school. And so we met, got married. I moved to Virginia. We were in Chesapeake, Virginia. And just him and I, through talking about the Bible and conversations, he just mentioned one day, well, I was saying like, oh, I'm baptized as a baby. I'm good. I'm covered. And he's like, no, you need to open the Bible and you need to read, because that's not actually what the Bible says. So I did. And we got pregnant with him and had him in COVID, and our whole world and like perspective just kind of changed through COVID and having a kid.
Sure.
And was reading the Bible. And then I decided, okay, well, I'm going to make this proclamation myself and tell everybody that I believe in Jesus. I believe in what he did. And so I got baptized at FBC like a year and a half ago.
Cool.
And then we became members. Yeah.
Were you in the indoor baptism service, or were you outdoors?
It was a February one.
Because we have an outdoor one in Sharando coming up in just a week or two. So that's exciting. Segue, pause. If you pause this story, if you haven't been to a baptism service, you can go in a couple weeks at Sharando. There's going to be dozens of people getting baptized. It's just cool to support and hear people's stories and testimonies. So thanks for sharing that. So, Stephen, what's your version of the story?
Well, I was just going to say, talk on the baptism part.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see really part of family camp and then part with the baptism. FBC just takes over any venue that we go to. And so like family camp, where I think you'll get 50 cars from Virginia plates all in an area. It's unheard of in North Dakota, and same thing at Sharando. It's just Sharando pool is just covered with FBCers, and it's really cool to see the church body
to display Christ not just in a singular building. That we can do it outside, in our community or in our country, like North Dakota or Sharando Park. Yeah. So you were saved early as a believer, or as a kid?
Grew up in the church. So I went to church with my mom, and then my dad didn't go. And then once he came to saving grace knowledge, I saw a difference, and I was like, oh, that's what was different about my mom than my dad. And so that was around between I was 8 and 10, and then I was able to kind of piece it together for myself and figure out that it needs to be a personal. It's not your family's faith that saves you. It's your own personal relationship with Christ. And so I grew up in the church. And so I have experience with moving to an area where my family's not and finding a church. So I went to Auburn, and I was able to find a good church while I was down there. And then I found a series of good churches. But while we were back in Chesapeake, the church wasn't right for what we were looking for, especially with young family going through COVID. And our church family wasn't what we wanted it to be. We didn't really feel like we connected. We had community, and we weren't. The church wasn't feeding us, and so we weren't surviving. We weren't growing, and so we prayed. God, show us where we're supposed to be. We're willing to move. We're willing to go to a different church, and so I got laid off, and so be careful what you pray for.
Yeah, right.
But and then we prayed, show us what your plan for our life is, and then we moved here, and we did research similar to what I had done in the past. Founders Ministries is a good tool for that, and we found fellowship. So
cool. And you're obviously raising this little one here to get a good understanding of who Jesus is. Owen, tell me, what do you know about Jesus?
That he died on the cross to take our sin.
That's awesome. That is A+ for that pop quiz right there. Good job. Maybe your parents can give you a treat later today for being here and saying all the right answers. So take kind of just all of that background, and then you get invested here at FBC as a family. You're growing together. And then I just go back to that first question. Why family camp? What as a couple and as a family did you see in that to say, oh yeah, that makes sense. I want to be a part of that?
So as Morgan said, our community group leaders are heavily involved in family camp. So we did hear a lot about how great it was. And so there was a lot of repeated storytelling about how how great it'll be for Owen and all of that. And So we looked into it. We had been to North Dakota before, but never thought we would be back. Definitely not for missions. We had done missions in the past, but this really is just an opportunity that we can serve as the community for Christ, but also get connected to the local body while ministering to believers and non-believers in North Dakota. And what's cool about family camp, for those of y'all that don't know, is that we're not just going to a place where it's people that live there locally. Like, this is many First Nations churches that represent many tribes in different areas. I mean, so the tribes that are represented: North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Oklahoma, Iowa,
Virginia was represented.
And then North Carolina. Yeah.
It truly is a melting pot
Yeah.
of a bunch of people coming together. Yeah. And again, because this is your second time, you probably saw some familiar faces, right? So give me just one quick snapshot of a story of an interaction that you had with someone from last year and then this year. And again, I really, truly believe that lives are being changed by this week. So what did you guys see from changed lives there with some of the Native Americans?
We were really excited to go back a second time. Kind of when we made the decision the first year to go, we knew we weren't, I mean, a week's not the longest time to really make relationships with them so that we can really bring them to Jesus. It happens, but we knew we wanted to keep going back, keep letting them see our faces and keep creating those relationships with them. And so my favorite part of going this year was seeing all of the familiar faces, seeing them again, wondering if they're going to remember me. And so I really loved going, seeing the kids. So I was with the elementary kids, and about half of them I recognized from last year. Most of them remembered me. They definitely remembered Owen with us. And
how could you forget Owen? Yes.
And just some of the kids there, seeing how they grow. You almost feel like you're just like family. It's like, oh, you got so tall. How was your school year? Those things like that. Yeah, lots of stories. There's one little boy who I knew was coming this year, and he is Owen's age, and they came the last year too. So it's like, hey, remember this person? They're gonna be there. We're really excited to see him and you can play with him again and ask him about how his year went, ask him all those things, see how he grows. What?
I don't remember who he was.
Yeah.
It really is like a reunion of sorts. And now that we've been doing this for a few years, it's turning more into less of us, I hate to say it, the white church showing up to serve and do one camp and then deuce out. It's turning into this ongoing relationship building time where everyone's getting an experience of camp together. Yes, you guys are teachers and you guys are serving in a way, and you're in the tent city. Yeah. But the stories that I'm hearing from you guys right now, and also others that I've heard that go, is more of this reunion that you're coming together, and less of us coming to put on a VBS or put on a camp for you guys over there. There's a commonality that's happening.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. Yeah. And that's the whole point of going out there and teaching them, is so that they can start to tell others about Jesus, right? Take what we're teaching them. Because each group, elementary, middle school, high school, and then all the adults go to their lessons and stuff. They're all getting like the meta narrative. They're all getting the same thing, but just at each person's level. And that's the whole point. We want them to go back and tell everybody what we're saying too.
Have a common lesson that the parents are getting and the kids at the same time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Foundation.
So I'll ask the question, like, will you guys go back again next year? Would that be the plan? You've already got a yes from Owen over there. Yep.
Well, if Owen says we're going back, then I guess we just need to figure out how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
We want to keep forming the relationships. We want to be there for them. And this year it really felt like a family. Like some personal things came up for us at the end of camp. And that's kind of why we had to rush. We stayed the whole camp. We just had to rush the last day. And I couldn't believe how much it just felt like family and how they were all there for me and for us. And we would do the same thing vice versa. And like, you don't even have to think about it. And so it really became a family this year with the whole camp and tent city, the FBCers and the other Native Americans that were in the tent city as well. Yeah, it's just been amazing.
That's cool. Any specific prayer requests that you can think of that came out of being at camp for anything that we can pray for those churches or for the ministry as a whole?
Yeah. I just remember one of the leaders, the FBC leaders that goes and puts on family camp. She said that Mark and Jim, they've been ministering around the whole world. They've been almost everywhere around the world ministering. But the Native Americans out there in the Dakotas, that area out there, is one of the darkest places. And it's like, wow, right here in our own country.
Yeah.
Like, right 24 hours away from us. And so you get out there, you keep that in the back of your mind. You get out there and you meet these kids and the families and everything. And they're just like us, except they don't have the correct view of Jesus. And so we really just need to be praying that they heard us this last week that we were there. It stays in their hearts, it stays in their minds. They meditate on it, and that they start to, talk about it, open up about it. In their culture, I don't think a lot of the talking about Jesus and the emotional side of things is talked about a lot.
Sure.
And so hopefully they find someone out there, even if it's a leader that they saw at camp. There are a few churches that come to this camp and they just come with like a couple from that camp that are like, hey, we're going to family camp. We'll take your kids. Like there are people like that. And so hopefully those kids we really got to pray for those kids that they are safe in their home.
Yeah.
And that they remember the simple Jesus Bible stories we taught them and to hold on to that. And that was one thing this year is we don't want them to latch as teachers. We don't want them to latch on to us because they know we're safe. They know we're kind and loving. They need to know that God is with them.
Latch on to Jesus.
Yes.
Latch on to God.
So they really need that.
It's cool that you're viewing that from the spiritual needs, the spiritual perspectives, because they also have major physical needs, whether it be the broken homes or whether it be the broken churches or the relationship issues and just a lot of the plight of the Native American crowd still lingers today. And so there's still a lot of physical needs, but what they really need is Jesus, the spiritual need. So focusing on that at camp obviously is crucial to hopefully have that be passed on to someone Owen's age or even their grandparents. And that's why we do it, right? So thank you guys for being here. 'Cause this is just an encouraging opportunity to hear what God did with you guys and did at the camp a couple weeks ago, knowing that we can continue to pray for all the people that showed up, like you said, that they can remember to cling to Christ in those times and what they learned through the lessons, and that the churches can grow. So if you want to learn more information about family camp, you can certainly reach out to the church office. We have the Global Missions webpage as well, where you can learn more about what goes on around the world, where, yes, our pastors, Scott McManigal and Jim Poole, do travel tons. I know they're in Africa right now, so we'll be hearing more about their stories of what God is doing there, in addition to what God did around the North American crowd. So any last words before we wrap this up?
I do.
Fire away, Owen. I give you the floor.
I'm not going to say something that was at North Dakota. It's at Ohio.
Okay.
So those bad storms at Ohio, and then food fell down in the A storm, and it went on the house. That's really bad.
Got to pray for that. Yeah.
But the people who lived there weren't there.
Good.
Their house.
That's good to know. Yes. Well, you guys traveled a lot, so you know a lot of states. You've been to a lot of states just going between here and North Dakota. That's a lot. So thank you guys for doing that. Again, taking time out of your lives here and everybody else at FBC. Thank you guys for participating and engaging with the churches in that way. So Stephen, Morgan, Owen, good job. You guys made it. Thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for watching and listening to our episode here today. And remember that it is Christ who is continually building his church until we all attain to the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God.